Hello and welcome everybody to today's video. Welcome to the Vee Academy. My name is Crumbrion, Professor Crumbrion, if you would. And today we're going to be taking a look at a wonderful game that we played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, and be happy to get your reactions to it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you want to follow me and watch games in real time, check me out on twitch.tv/Crumbrion. For now, let's go check out the game. Thanks for watching.
3, 2, 1, go!
Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to another video. Today, Deja Vu. We're watching this Dragapult Blaziken deck facing off against Jellicent Gardevoir this time, actually. This is Jellicent versus our Szechuan Pult list. So we're starting off a little bit on our back foot here. We have a Fezandipiti start. We don't rightly know what we're starting into, so we did see the mulligan, but we know it's Gardevoir, obviously. Can't really start anything different here, so... Obviously, my opponent getting a pretty decent start for themselves here with the Frillish opening. This is kind of the hand that you want as a Gardevoir, actually. You want the Frillish in the active. Earthen Vessel, fantastic opening for them here, as they can go ahead and Earthen Vessel, get the energy. So one interesting thing my opponent's going to do here, a little bit different than normal. They're going to grab, they're going to discard a Gardevoir, grab 2 Psychic Energies here. So, with the threat of the item lock here, it kind of makes sense to throw the energies away, but being a little bit greedy and using the Ultra Ball with the 2 energies means that they less of a chance to be able to use the Oceanic Loom on this following turn. So, they obviously want to establish a Ralts here. Definitely a little bit desperate to get that out there as quickly as possible. They do get the beautiful combination to get the Earthen Vessel Ultra Ball, but we have boss's orders in hand to start the game. Not really in a rush to get anything set up here, so we have the energy to attach. We get to retreat into a Budew, grabbing Dreepy and Torchic off of this Buddy Poff in here. Obviously, Psyduck not really going to be doing much into this matchup for us, so we're just going to go ahead and put Budew into the active and hit them with the Itchy Pollen. So nice part about the Szechuan Pult list here, the Blaziken Dragapult list, is that we're not locked into only attacking with Dragapult, right? Because that is a big advantage into something like Gardevoir here, because Gardevoir obviously running Clefairy, meaning that our Dragapult is very susceptible to Psychic types, of which Gardevoir is almost exclusively Psychic types. So we see our opponent flexing the Secret Box here, using it with the Arven, getting the air balloon here to retreat back into Frillish, but no energy. This was the problem we were talking about. No energy for my opponent. So now we get to take advantage of them discarding energies here early, assuming that they are trying to get a Gardevoir into the active slot here as quickly as possible. So we can Dawn here. We can, again, be a little bit greedy, a bit on the greedy side. We have the Risky Ruins. Playing down the Risky Ruins allows us to bench Munkidori here with the Dark Energy in hand, make use of that damage immediately. They do not have a Dark Energy on their Monkey. So now we're kind of challenging our opponent here. The entire point of this play, to put damage into play with a Munkidori with Dark Energy, is now they have a choice to make. They can either attach a Psychic to Frillish here, go for the Oceanic Loom, or they can go to a Dark Energy with the Munkidori and start pushing damage over. They can't do both right now, right? They have a 3-card hand. We've seen them play 1 Earthen Vessel. We're item locking them out of retrieving their energies right now. So they have a choice to make. So that's just a draw pass on my opponent's turn. Very quick turn for them. So now we get access to a little bit more pieces into our deck. So we're going to grab a Pal Pad here. That's going to get us our Combusken. So in this particular list, we want to establish a Blaziken earlier than we establish a Dragapult ultimately, because Blaziken is going to be our point guard for this match, like for basically any match that we play. Everything is going to go through Blaziken. Blaziken is able to set up and facilitate a lot of these interesting plays that we can make with different Pokemon in our list, right? Primarily Dragapult is an attacker, but Blaziken is making it all happen. Blaziken's the playmaker here, so just establishing the Dragapult just in case we get Ionut on this turn. We would lose the Blaziken, which would be unfortunate, but we have a good chance of drawing back into it. We have a Dragapult established now, so it's not going to go away. We have a big threat on board, so they're going to bump our Risky Ruins with Mystery Garden and play Lilies. Means that we don't get Ionut here. Second Monkey goes down to the board here. It's a big 30 damage onto Kirlia. Zero dark energy on board. So again, lots of pressure on board here. They have to attach the Psychic to establish item lock here. We don't really care about item lock because we have Combusken, we have Blaziken in hand, we have Munkidori with energy, we have Dragapult. We're chilling. Lots of different things we can do here. So we could continue item locking if we wanted to, but we actually have a very unique play. So because we have energy in the discard pile, even through item lock, we don't need to worry about the energy because Blaziken allows us to attach the energy from the discard pile directly to our Dragapult that we discarded earlier there, retreating the Fezandipiti into Budew. Now we can make use of this 20 damage, push 20 damage back over to Munkidori, full flat 20 damage board, and we attack with the Jet Headbutt, taking a knockout on the Kirlia, removing the ability for them to get Gardevoir on their turn here. So really huge turn for us right there. Get a 20 damage board across, no 30 damage markers on their side of the field. So the most they can push over right now is 20 damage. They cannot get 30 damage because they don't have a Gardevoir established at this particular moment in time. So down comes the Dark Energy. So again, very important. They had 3 Dark Energies in hand. So they had 3 Dark Energy and 1 Psychic in hand. So they had to make the choice to either item lock me or get the Munkidori pushing damage over. They chose to item lock and they lost their Kirlia over it. So very important step there for us. So very, very nice. We do see the Fezandipiti here. The Ralts using up one of their 2 Night Stretchers. So they have 1 Night Stretcher, 1 Super Rod left. We're keeping track of this. This is very important that we keep track of the resources for the Gardevoir player in this particular matchup. So we do see Frillish here fronting up a potential another turn for an item lock here. Different things that they could do on this turn. Obviously, they could take a knockout on Budew if they wanted to. They have access to the secret box. Gardevoir goes into the discard pile. So now we know that 2 Gardevoir are in the discard pile with 1 Night Stretcher already used. So they're down to 1 Night Stretcher, 1 Super Rod, 2 Gardevoirs in the discard pile currently. Very important. Very, very important right there. A huge secret box is going to discard a bunch of their resources here as well. Artisan, so all of their stadiums are now gone. Artisan, Mystery Garden are in play. So now that we know our Jamming Tower is safe to put down because Jamming Tower should stick for the rest of the game here. So they're going to put an TM Evolution on Jellicent, hit the Lily's Determination, and they've already attached returns so they cannot Power Press. Nest Ball is going to put down Clefairy here, I do believe. They're going to fill up their bench here as well. So no threat of Drifloon, no threat of Screamtail. So we can take our time here. We're not too worried about the state of the current board. So pretty formidable, right? Double monkey board. We have a threat looming for Gardevoir here. If we can get a Phantom Dive on this next turn, this would be incredibly good for us, right? Because we could push damage over. We could Phantom Dive onto Jellicent. We could potentially take out Ralts. They're going to TM Evo here. If it's a Kirlia, if we have 30 damage to move over, we can go ahead and take a knockout on Kirlia. If we have a boss, we can take a knockout on Kirlia, etc. But unfortunately, we do not get the combination here. So we're just going to put down the Jamming Tower. We're going to hit Lily's Determination. We do not get energy. So we have to pivot what we're going to do here. So because Blaziken is such a strong addition to this deck, we don't mind throwing that Psychic Energy away. Perfectly fine. It can sit in the discard pile, no problem. We're going to retreat into Budew here, knowing that Gardevoir, there's 2 Gardevoir in the discard pile, and the only access that my opponent has to Gardevoir on this next turn is either Super Rod or Night Stretcher, which we're going to Itchy Pollen them out of here. Twofold here, Budew is going to serve as a sacrifice so that we can go and grab ourselves 3 cards with Fezandipiti to dig a little bit deeper in our deck to try and find that missing energy. We have Crispin in hand, so we're kind of guaranteed that energy in hand should we need it if we don't get hand disrupted here as well. So We do see the energy come down here. Adrenabrain is going to push some damage over onto Budew, removing that 20 damage from Fezandipiti that we placed there, taking damage off of our board, and they're just going to power press. So again, not a huge turn out of my opponent here. Very lackluster turn. And so we still have that Psychic in the discard pile here, right? We're waiting for this energy, trying to get something. Fezandipiti, we have the Crispin here, but we also see that Clefairy. So we were looking for some way to boss up that Clefairy this turn. We didn't get boss's orders. We can't use boss's orders because we have to get energy onto Dragapult here. We don't have the energy in hand. So we have to take this turn a little bit more slow here, but we can still be productive, right? Because we get the Psychic energy, we get the Fire energy out of the deck from Crispin. Crispin's going to put Fire energy in hand, attach a Psychic energy to Munkidori, and we're going to make use of this Psychic energy in the discard pile here. We push the Fire energy onto Blaziken. This is very important. This is a 3 energy turn. We took a Psychic out of the deck. We put a Fire into hand. We're going to take a Psychic out of the discard pile here with Seething Spirit, using that to grab a basic energy and attach to any Pokemon that we see fit. Psychic energy onto Dragapult. So now we have a trifecta of threats. We have Munkidori as a threat. We have Blaziken threatening. We have Dragapult threatening. We're confusing Jellicent. Jellicent is sitting at 70 damage, 200 Phantom Dive range right now currently. So now the threat is the Munkidoris have to remove the damage from Jellicent here, or Jellicent's going to go down to a Phantom Dive. Gardevoir coming in online now. So what can my opponent do here? They can't counter catcher, so they're going to have to play boss's orders. Most Gardevoir lists are not playing boss's orders. So if they want to take out my Dragapult here, if they want to take out one of the threats that are imminent on the board currently, they need to retreat Jellicent, they need to attack Dragapult. So it's they're going to have to do this with a boss's orders. So very low chances of this happening. However, my opponent, with 9 cards left in their deck, they've gone through so many cards in their deck so far. We haven't taken a knockout, so they also can't Fez for turn. They're going to Psychic Embrace here, and they're going to attach to Gardevoir, which is showing they have some kind of a play up their sleeve here, right, currently. So Jellicent, nice juicy target for us. We're very happy to see that. We have a few different plays that we could make here, obviously. Ultimately what we wanted to do here is we wanted to get a board where we had 2 Blaziken, right? We have Team Rocket's Petrol in hand. We can go and find a rare candy, but we can't use the rare candy of Jellicent's in the active. So we're forcing my opponent to retreat the Jellicent here, and they do end up playing boss's orders, take out one of the threats, and they're targeting Dragapult. Very easy thing for them to go after here. So they're going to go after Dragapult. It is going to get knocked out. They're going to just push 1 Munkidori damage over here and attack with Gardevoir. So removing the Jellicent from the active slot, they take 30 damage off of the Jellicent and push it over to Dragapult. And so now we get to rare candy into our second Blaziken, and this is incredibly important because now we have full access to the energies in the discard pile. This is really important here. Now Blaziken can survive any attack from the current board state right now. So all of the Pokemon that my opponent has on board currently, cannot take a knockout on Blaziken, no matter how hard they try right now. They don't have Drifloon, they don't have Screamtail, they can't reach 320 on Blaziken because Blaziken is not weak to Psychic. Even with Clefairy, it's not happening. So we get lots of draw here. We get Flip the Script. We get to see cards with Drakloak here as well. We also get to Seething Spirit. So we're going to grab ourselves a Dragapult because there's no point in having Buddy Poffin with a full bench currently. We're not seeing a knockout next turn. So Seething Spirit is going to power up Blaziken. So Blaziken, very powerful attacker. We have a single Psychic energy in the discard pile. It has been used so many times at this point in time. The same energy has been recycled as many times as Gardevoir normally recycles. So we're going to swing for 200 big damage here into Gardevoir with Blaziken. Now Blaziken cannot attack next turn, but what Blaziken can do is retreat those 2 energy off, and then between the 2 Blazikens we can reattach those energies to Pokemon any way that we see fit. This is perfect because Blaziken can attack. You retreat it to a new fresh attacker, and then you go ahead and attack with that one. So what we're planning on here is we're banking on either Clefairy or Jellicent to come to the active slot to be the attacker here, not to quite take a knockout on Blaziken. My opponent here is going to have to set up the second Munkidori. They can't get a third monkey down because I haven't taken a knockout yet. They're down to 3 prizes. We're down to 5. So we're gonna see 60 damage coming off of Gardevoir here, because if they don't, then we're going to be in a good spot to take them out next turn. But they're going to leave damage on our Blaziken, which allows us to retreat the Blaziken, go into the Fezandipiti. Something they're not really thinking of here. Obviously, in Dragapult, you don't really see this play very often because obviously we have 0 energy on Fezandipiti. So how the heck are we going to get to attack with it, right? But our opponent's not done yet. So they are going to be pushing damage here off of this Gardevoir. We're going to see Jellicent come back into the active here. So Jellicent, obviously, with the item lock, with the tool lock. This list does not play tools. We play Jamming Tower. We don't play tools. We play plenty of items that are super useful, obviously. So my opponent is trying to do everything they can to really suppress our ability to have any answer for this turn, right? So we're going to see 20 damage. We're going to see 40 damage from the Jellicent. We're going to see another 20 damage coming over here. And another 20 damage coming over here. So big 120 damage on the Jellicent. Now, we don't necessarily want to remove this damage from Jellicent. This is important, right? Because Jellicent here is eating up a lot of energies. It can retreat the 3 energies off, no problem. Our primary target, we want to go after this Gardevoir. So we're going to see 60 damage coming off of this Gardevoir to put it out of range of anything that we really have. Iono's going to be coming down here. So not really a whole lot in my hand that really was going to be useful here. We do get Ultra Ball. We can't use it, but we have Fire Energy, we have a Psychic Energy, and we have Petrol. So Petrol, interesting card. Not really a whole lot of use for it because of the item lock here. We're going to draw a card here. We're going to get Lillie's Determination. So what we can do here, we can take out this Gardevoir because 220 damage is not enough to knock out Blaziken. Now, it would be if they have a Scream Tail, right? Because we have to be careful about this. If my opponent gets a situation where they can push 90 damage over to my board, they can Scream Tail Blaziken. They have 3 prizes left. They can win this game in a heartbeat. So what we're going to do is we're going to make use of Blaziken here. So Blaziken has a 2 retreat cost. We're going to retreat that into the discard pile, putting 2 fresh energies into the discard pile. We have energy in hand. Now we're going to preemptively use Petrol here. Go out and grab a counter catcher to have it in hand for next turn. And so what we're going to do, because we can't use the counter catcher because of the Jellicent being in the active slot, we don't have access to boss's orders this turn. We don't have the ability. We didn't draw into anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to Adrenabrain, 30 damage that they left on here, the 220 onto the Blaziken, turning out to be huge for us, pushing that over to Gardevoir. We're going to attach an energy to Fezandipiti. Seething Spirit number 1. Count the energies. 1 fire, 2 fire, and Seething Spirit number 2 brings a 3rd energy, Psychic Energy, from 0 to 3 Cruel Arrow onto Gardevoir. Their only Gardevoir left on the field. Boom! Gardevoir goes down for a big 2 prizes. Now we're conceding that we're going to be losing Fezandipiti here, right? Fezandipiti will go down. Very good chance for Fezandipiti to go down here. However, that is perfectly okay because they have 3 prizes remaining and they can only take 2. Everything on their board can only take a maximum of 2 prizes. So we see an Iono come down here. Not really anything that we had in our hand that could help us out. We do get Dragapult off of that draw. This is going to be very integral here. We get a Drakloak off of the Iono as well. Now we cannot use the Night Stretcher. It's important because Jellicent is still in the active slot. So we have a very good chance of winning on this next turn. All we have to do, because we have 2 Blazikens in play, we're only going to be losing Fezandipiti because the Munkidoris have to move 60 damage off of Jellicent to put it out of Phantom Dive range. So this is very important too. We have 1 Munkidori. 1 Munkidori can push 130 over. So we can either just take out Jellicent and concede the game to Clefairy, or we can just we can take out try and take out Clefairy or some kind of combination here and then lose to Jellicent. However, we have a trick up our sleeve that we saw whisked away earlier. So we're going to go ahead and we have our Drakloaks. We're going to check Recon Directive number 1. Can we find boss? We find Kieran. Kieran's going to do it for us here. We have Dragapult in hand. We're going to Adrenabrain the damage that they left on our Blaziken humbly, wonderfully. Thank you very much. Munkidori is going to take 50 damage on there. We're going to go retreat the Psychic off, put up Drakloak. We're going to put down Dragapult. Blaziken number 1, Seething Spirit. Gonna grab a Fire Energy from the discard pile. We have 4 energies that we can grab there. We can grab one of those. Seething Spirit number 2 is gonna grab the other piece of this Phantom Dive, the Psychic Energy. Now we're 10 damage shy, except Kieran gives us 30 more damage. 230 damage onto Jellicent for the knockout. 60 damage onto Munkidori for the knockout, and my opponent concedes the match. And that, folks, case in point, Blaziken is an incredibly strong Pokemon to be playing in this list. The 2-on-2 line, it is your point guard, it is your playmaker. It is the Pidgeot to the Charizard. Blaziken with Dragapult, like peanut butter and jelly, goes together. Butter smooth. Fantastic addition to this deck. It gets stronger in rotation when Iono gets rotated. Fantastic. Check it out. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Don't be afraid to hit those buttons. And if you've tried this list out and it's worked for you, you've enjoyed it, please drop a comment. I'd be happy to hear what you have to say about the deck as well. Deck list is in the description below. Check it out. We'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.